Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon, all of you. We'll start with today's quote by Oprah Winfrey. Don't worry about being successful, but work toward being significant, and the success will naturally follow. Okay, always normally what happens is if you are after something, it always goes away from you. But it is like a success. If you want to be successful and work for that, sometimes it may become difficult to achieve it. But work toward being significant. Okay, whatever is possible, you put your complete effort and work towards it, and automatically the success will naturally follow. Okay, it's like a byproduct. Enjoy the work, and the success automatically follows you like a byproduct. Okay, and today is the birthday of one of the heat transfer experts, Stefan. I think everybody knows him, Stefan Boltzmann's law. So he is Austrian physicist who proposed a law of radiation, stating that the amount of energy radiated per second from a black body is proportional to the fourth power of its absolute temperature. A black body is a theoretical object that absorbs all radiation that falls on it. And this law is known as Stefan law or Stefan Boltzmann law. He also studied electricity, the kinetic theory of gases, and hydrodynamics. So he is the great guy uh, who has taken birth today. Okay, now coming to the axial flow turbines, I think this is the third time I'm repeating the things. Uh, okay, anyhow, it will make more clear to you. So as we have discussed, so we have completed axial flow compressor chapter. We are coming to the axial flow turbine chapter. So the difference is there it is increase of pressure, here decrease of pressure. And there is negative work and here positive work. So because we are extracting work, there will be decrease in the kinetic energy across the rotor. So rotor is a machine which transfers work from the fluid to the shaft. So work transfer takes place in the rotor. But work transformation, that is the conversion of one energy to another energy, takes place in both stator and rotor. Okay, so in the starter, both in the stator and rotor, there will be decrease in the pressure. Okay, so because there is expansion taking place. So in the stator, because static pressure is decreasing, there will be increase in the velocity. It is just like a nozzle. Stator works like a nozzle. There will be decrease in the pressure and increase in the velocity. So large kinetic energy will be coming out of the stator. So that enters the rotor. So because large kinetic energy is there, we convert it into work. Okay, some of it. So C2 becomes C3 reduces. Okay, so that change in kinetic energy is converted to work. But coming to the relative velocity, because this is also a nozzle type shape of the body, so there will be the decrease in the pressure, increase in the velocity. Increase in the velocity relative to the blade. So relative velocity increase, absolute velocity decrease. Okay, this is the one you have to be clear in understanding. Okay, so because there is velocity increase across the blade with respect to the blade, there will be decrease in the area. So we have to draw in such a way that there is a large area at the inlet and small area at the exit. And again, it depends on the deflection, how much work we are getting. Okay, so and we have seen that there is a adverse pressure gradient across the pressure compressor and favorable pressure gradient across the turbine. So the pressure ratio per stage is very small across the compressor. Pressure ratio per stage is more across the turbine. So for a given pressure ratio, usually we have large number of stages for compressor and few number of stages for the turbine. Okay, so these are the differences we have to be very, very clear. Okay, and then we have seen about the velocity triangles. So velocity
So,
triangles. So we
so,
yes,
sir,
yes.
as we generally shown in the diagram, like the turbine is we can say the diverging show, but here,
No, 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 no.
sir,
Turbine is converging process. Okay, here, okay, okay. That's right, that's right. Whatever you are asking, I understood. So here, when you draw the schematic, so compressor we draw like this, and turbine we draw like this, right? So overall turbine, because what is happening, expansion is taking place, pressure is decreasing. So what happens to the density? Because pressure decreases, density decreases. So it occupies more area. So the area of the turbine gradually increase. High pressure turbine will be smaller one, low pressure turbine will be the larger one. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
In the compressor also in the same way, the low pressure compressor will be very large blades, long blades will be there. But as it gets compressed, it occupies small area, right? It gets compressed. So it occupies small area and high pressure compressors will be small. In the same way, high pressure turbine, because it is high pressure, compressed thing is coming to the turbine. So that's why it occupies small area. As expansion is taking place, actually this thing is, but across a stage, when it is crossing the blade, okay, so this pressure energy is kind of, because pressure energy is to be converted to kinetic energy, because pressure is decreasing, favorable pressure gradient. If pressure decrease means across the blade there should be increase in the velocity. If velocity is to increase, the area, passage area should be decreasing. So across a blade the passage area will be decreasing, but the size of the turbines will be increasing. Am I clear about it? It's a
Yes,
good
sir.
question, right? So normally that confusion may be there. Okay. So what we have seen it across a turbine, the area increase because pressure is decreasing and density is decreasing, means area will be increasing. And across a rotor, pressure is decreasing and relative velocity will be increasing, so area will be decreasing. Okay, this is the way it comes. Okay, so coming to the velocity triangles, okay, many times we are doing it. So what we do is I am combining the velocity triangles. The base will be same, so this is u. Okay, so large velocity it is coming out from the nozzle with c2, and v2 will be like this. So if I complete the triangle like this, the height of the triangle is CA. Okay, and so the angles, this is beta 2 for V2, and for C2 this is alpha 2. And if you see the lengths, whirl velocity, this is VW2, the whole one is CW2. That's why U is equal to CW2 minus VW2. Okay, the exit triangle, V2, the relative velocity increase, right? So V2 will be large and V3 will be large and C3 will be small. Okay, so V increases, C decreases. Okay, and again if I complete the triangle like this, so the height again is same. Okay, so this is CA only, and again the angles if I take, this is beta 3, V3 angle, and C3 angle alpha 3. And again if I see the whirl components, so the small one is CW3, and the larger one VW3. Okay. So VW3 minus CW3 also is U. Okay. So from this we can see that CW2 plus CW3 is equal to VW2 plus VW3. Okay. So if I divide by CA, so U by CA, that is 1 by 5 is equal to U by CA, and CW2 by CA is tan alpha 2, beta VW2 tan beta 2. This is equal to tan beta 3. If V is there, beta will come. If C is there, alpha will come. Minus tan alpha. In the same way here, tan alpha 2 plus tan alpha 3 is equal to tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3. Okay, this you have to remember. CW2 is CA tan alpha 2, CW3 CA tan alpha 3, VW2 CA tan beta 2, VW3 CA tan beta 3. In the same way, velocities if you come, V2 is equal to CA secant beta 2, V3 CA secant beta 3. Similarly, C2 CA secant alpha 2, C3 CA secant alpha 3. Like this, we will get. Okay, so we will get like this. This is one relation which we have to remember. Now coming to the work is equal to U into change in will component. We have seen that it is CW2 plus CW3, and this is also can be written as U into VW2 plus VW3, and dividing by CA, sorry, this is equal to U into CA into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3. This is W. So W is equal to UCA into tan beta 2 plus tan beta. And now if I take psi, which is blade loading coefficient or work coefficient, so W by U square by 2, that is 2W by U square, that is 2UCA by U square into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3. So one U gets cancelled. So this becomes 2 CA by U is 5 into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3 is equal to 7. Phi is flow coefficient, which is equal to CA by 3. Okay, so this is the, and then next coming to the reaction. Okay, this is where we are discussing in the last class. So reaction is equal to delta H across rotor by delta H across stage. So as I told, if I take the stage like this, so this is stator and this is rotor, or this is nozzle, this is rotor. Okay, so this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. And so this is it. And another thing we have discussed is if C1 is equal to C3, we call it as repeating stage. That is this is the velocity C1 equal to C3 and alpha 1 equal to alpha 3. So the velocity and angle at the first stage nozzle entry is equal to second stage nozzle entry. Okay, so this is rotor exit or next stage nozzle entry. So if the nozzle entry for the first stage and nozzle entry at the second stage, if same velocity, same angle is there, it is like repeating stage. Okay, so that is the meaning of repeating stage. If C1 equal to C3 and alpha 1 equal to alpha 3. Okay, now coming to this, so delta H across rotor is H2 minus H3, and across stage is H1 minus H3. So if C1 equal to C3 And if there are repeating states, then this can be written as H2 minus H3 by, because C1 equal to C3, I can write H naught 1 minus H naught. And H naught 1 minus H naught 3 is nothing but W, because W is equal to H naught 1 minus H naught 3 plus Q. Change in total stagnation enthalpy. Okay. So which is nothing but change in enthalpy plus change in kinetic energy. So change in stagnation enthalpy. So this H naught 1 minus H naught 3. Okay, I have written something wrong. Okay, I should write in other way. Q is equal to H naught 3 minus H naught 1 plus W. So W is equal to H naught 1 minus H. Okay, this is the way, this is first law. So this can be written as W. And H2 minus H3 across a blade, H2 plus H3 plus V3 square by 2 is equal to H2 plus V2 square by 2. With respect to the blade, there is no, this is the difference I actually have to understand. Okay. So if I take H3 plus E3 square by 2, right? So this will be equal to H naught 1 plus C1 square by 2 minus W. Sorry, H1 plus C1 square by 2 minus W. If I write absolute velocities, I have to consider the work. If I take the relative velocities, I need not consider the work. So the total enthalpy with respect to relative velocity remain constant. With respect to absolute velocity, the work is to be considered. So that you have to be clear again. Okay, so here H2 minus H3 becomes V3 square minus V2 square by 2, and H01 minus H03 is W. So this is equal to V3 is Ca secant square secant beta 3. So Ca square into secant square beta 3 minus secant square beta 2 by 2W. So 2 UCA into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3. Okay, this secant square I can write as tan square beta 3 minus tan square beta 2. So reaction is equal to Ca square into tan square beta 3 minus tan square beta 2 by 2UCA into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3. So if I write this as like A plus B into A minus B, so this will become 1 Ca gets cancelled. So Ca by U is 5, Ca by 2U into tan beta 3 minus tan beta 3. And this is also can be written as 5 by 2 into tan beta 3 minus tan beta 3. This is R. Okay, so we have again R phi psi relation, right? And the other thing we can write it as R is equal to 1 by, sorry, Ca tan beta 3 is VW3, Ca tan beta 2 is VW2 by 2U. Okay, later I will show you that VW3 minus VW2 by 2 is VWM by U. Okay, and this becomes actually Ca tan beta M. Just like uh, the compressor, axial compressors also, we get similar thing. Okay, so here we got psi relation, psi is equal to, if I go back, psi is equal to 2 phi into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3. And R is equal to 5 by 2 tan beta 3 minus tan beta 2. Okay. So now from these two, if I have r, phi and psi, I can solve for tan beta 2 and tan beta 3. Okay. So how we can do that? Tan beta 3, tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3. Tan beta 3 is equal to psi by 2 pi, and tan beta 3 minus tan beta 2 is equal to 2r by 5. Okay, from this. Okay. Now, if I solve this, suppose if I add these two, 2 tan beta 3, tan alpha, tan beta 2 gets cancelled. So 2 tan beta 3 is equal to, if I add these two, 1 by 5 into pi by 2 plus 2r, or tan beta 3 is equal to 1 by 2 pi into psi by 2 plus 2r. Similarly, if I subtract one from the other, okay, tan beta 3 gets cancelled. I will get 2 tan beta 2 is equal to, again, 1 by 5, because I am subtracting, psi by 2 minus 2r will come. So means tan beta 2 is equal to 1 by 2 pi, psi by 2 minus 2r. Okay, this is the way I get. So tan beta 2 and tan beta 3 I can solve. And for tan alpha 2 and tan alpha 3, I can use this relation. 1 by 5, we already got it as tan alpha 2 minus tan beta 2. And this is also equal to tan alpha 3, sorry, tan beta 3 minus tan alpha 3. Okay, so this is the thing I have. So from the tan alpha 2 minus tan beta 2 is there. So tan alpha 2 is equal to, from this, tan alpha 2 is equal to tan beta 2 plus 1 by 5. And from the other one, tan alpha 3 is equal to tan beta 3 minus 1 by 5.
So,
Yes,
so we are doing all calculation at mean radius. No?
at mean radius only. So again, if I want to get any other radius, I have to go for radial equilibrium again.
Yes.
So all mean radius design. So, so we get all the angles. So once I get all the angles, I have already written. If I know CA and U, I can get CA tan beta to CA tan beta 3, CA tan alpha to CA tan alpha 3, all C2, C3, V2, V3, everything I will get. Okay. So
Yes.
in that way, I can solve all the things. Okay. And once then coming to 50% reaction, if R is equal to 0.5. 50% reaction, we have uh, R is equal to 5 by 2 into tan beta 3 minus tan beta 2. Okay, so this is equal to 0.5. So 2 if I take to that side, So from this I will get 1 by phi is equal to tan beta 3 minus tan beta 2. So this is for 50% reaction. But in general, already I have got 1 by phi is equal to, from the inlet triangle, uh, tan alpha 2 minus tan beta 2 is there. And from the exit triangle, tan beta 3 minus tan alpha 3 is there. So inlet triangle, exit triangle. These things I have. So for 50% reaction, this is right. So tan beta 3 minus tan beta 2 is tan alpha 2 minus tan beta 2. So from this, what can I conclude? Alpha 2 equal to beta 3. Okay, and again, if I equate this and this, I am going to get alpha 3 is equal to beta 2. And already we have seen that alpha 1 equal to alpha 3 for repeating stages. So this is for a 50% reaction blading. Okay, and here beta 2 is inlet angle for rotor, and alpha 3 is inlet angle to the nozzle or stator, right? So both inlet angles are same. Similarly, beta 3 is exit angle of rotor, and alpha 2 is exit angle of nozzle. Because for nozzle it is entering at C2, C1 and leaving at C2. Okay, so leaving angle is alpha 2. So like this. So exit angles are same, inlet angles are same. Therefore, uh, stator and rotor blades are same. So that is the one we at compressors also we conclude the same thing. Okay. Uh, and now here, so what we do is, okay, I will show you all these things. So this is the axial turbine we have seen, and okay, this is again we will discuss it later. This is TS diagram, and these are the velocity triangles, and this is about the efficiency. Okay, this already we know about it, and these are the combined velocity triangles. Okay, these are the relations we have developed now. This already we know from the uh, gas turbine cycles, right? So if I know the change in total pressure across the stage is equal to, if in terms of pressure ratio, it is like this. Okay. So W is equal to Cp delta T naught S, already we know it, we have discussed. And total to total efficiency, total to static efficiency, that also we will discuss when I draw TS diagram. Okay, this is the reaction, and so Ca by 2U into tan beta 3 minus tan beta 2. So if phi is this, psi is equal to 2 phi into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 3, R is equal to 5 by 2 tan beta 3 minus tan beta 2. So we have solved these two, and we got tan beta 3 is 1 by 2 phi 5 by 2 plus 2R, 5 by 2 minus 2R, and these things we have derived. And for 50% reaction, beta 3 equal to alpha 2, beta 3 equal to alpha 3, these things also we have discussed. And so for 50% reaction, okay, so we have derived this particular formula. Yeah. So in this, if R is equal to 0.5, so what I am going to get, tan beta 3 is equal to 1 by 2 phi, psi by 2 plus 1. Okay. So that is 1 by 2 phi, phi plus 2 by 3. That is 4 psi. So psi is equal to 4 psi tan beta 3, 4 psi tan beta 3 minus 2. Okay. So because this is 4 phi, if I take it to this side, 4 phi tan beta 3 minus 2. Okay. And from the second relation, we get psi is equal to 4 phi tan alpha 3 plus 2. So like this, we can get the relation. Actually, tan beta 2 will come, so I can write it as tan alpha 3. So these are the two relations I can devise. So if I know psi and phi for different values of psi and phi, okay, so this is tan beta 2 is written as tan alpha 3, I will get this relation. And now if I draw the variations, so flow coefficient here phi and psi here, for different values of phi and psi, I can uh, draw the variations of angles. Okay, so that is alpha 2 equal to beta 3, 80 degrees, 70 degrees, 60 degrees like that. Alpha 3 equal to beta 2, which is 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees like that. I can uh, draw this. So this is for 50% reaction stages designs. So we will get the variations in this form. And then one more thing I like to do, which is not there here, is again non-dimensional velocity triangles we discuss. So again, I draw the triangles. So if I take this total distance, what is this total distance here? You can write this as CW2 plus CW3 or VW2 plus VW3. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, if I take non-dimensional velocity triangles, that is dividing everything by u by u, CW2 by u, VW2 by u, CW3 by u, VW3 by u, C3 by u, V3 by u, C2 by u, V2 by u, C0 by u, like this. So now we can see the height of the triangle CA by u is nothing but pi. Again, the distance between these apexes of the triangle CW2 plus CW3 by u, VW2 plus VW3 by u, this is equal to psi. It is not exactly psi. Actually, uh, it is psi by 2u or 2 psi. How we defined? psi is equal to W by U square by 2, right? So this is so from here psi is equal to 2 Ca by U into tan beta 2 plus tan beta 2, right? So that is 2 by, so this is Ca tan beta 2 is Vw2, Ca tan beta 3 is Vw3 by U. So Vw2 plus Vw3 by U is equal to psi by 2. Am I right? So there the distance between the apexes of the triangles. So this is psi by 2, right? This is psi by 2. Anyhow, this represents the blade loading coefficient. Okay. And again, if I take a center point here, okay, and if I join this, because VW2 is this way, VW3 is this way, I will take this as VWM. Okay. So that is, this goes through the center point here. And this angle, uh, this is beta 2 for V2, and this is beta 3 for V3, and this is called beta M. And so this is BWM. Okay, so how will you get to BWM? VW is M, this distance is VWM. Okay, so if I take this distance from this point to this point, because the total is VW2 plus VW3, half the distance, that is VW2 plus VW3 by 2. And in that I have to subtract uh, so in that I have to subtract this particular portion. If I subtract this particular portion, this portion I will get. Okay, so minus VW2 by, okay, so what will I get here? VW3 minus VW2 by 2. This is VWM by U. Okay, so VW3 minus VW2 by 2U is reaction, or VWM by U is reaction. So this particular, if I take the center point here and draw a vertical line, and if I take this distance, this is reaction. Yes, come in. Okay, so this is reaction. Am I clear? The same way as we have done for the compressors, we can see like this. So that is, as I told, if I take these two ends, right, assuming this, the velocity, the triangles are elastic, if I take away both apexes away from each other, there will be increase in the work. Am I audible to you? Because I got doubt whether it is from one of you. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
that's why I have taken the phone. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken, because sometimes if I am not audible, one of you will be phoning me. Right? Okay. Now this is reaction. Now, as I told, again, if you remember, okay, if I increase the height of the triangle by pushing the apexes down, right, I am going to get increase in the flow. Similarly, if those two apexes, if I stretch away from each other, I am going to have more work, because psi will be increasing or decreasing. If I bring them together, psi decrease. If I take away from each other, then psi will increase. So based on the distance between these two peaks, I can see whether the work is more or less. And similarly, keeping those two together, and if I move it to the left, my reaction increase. If I move it to the right, the reaction decrease. Am I right? The center point will be moving towards left, means this distance VWM gets decreased. If VWM becomes 0, that is, if the center point goes to this point, so the reaction will be 0. If the center point goes to this point, the reaction will be 1. Am I clear what I am telling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is the way I can understand by seeing the velocity triangles, whether work is large or whether flow is large or whether reaction is large or small, I can understand by seeing the figures. So that is very important to understand how these things are working. Okay, so these are non-dimensional velocity triangles. Then we will see the TS diagram. If I draw like this, I can show you the figure in the from the book, but you may not be able to draw yourself. Okay, to understand that I'm doing this. Okay, this is the way we know it. This is 1, and this is 3. This is 3 dash. Okay, and maybe rotor and starter if I divide. So this will be 2, and this will be 2 dash. These are static conditions. And stagnation conditions, if I want, I have to add the kinetic energy. So here if I add T1 square by 2Cp, I'm going to get naught 1. Okay, so here I'm going to get add, because C1, C3 are almost same as I told for repeating stages. So C3 square by 2Cp, this is naught 3. And if I draw a line like this, so this is naught 3 dash. Okay, and because across the nozzle, T naught is constant. So T naught 1 is equal to T naught 2. Okay, across the nozzle, T naught 1 equal to T naught 2. So if I draw a horizontal line, okay, and sorry, yeah, and if I, at T2, if I draw a vertical line, so this will be naught 2. And so this will be T2 square by 2C2. So you can see that C2 will be large because kinetic energy will be large after the nozzle. Okay, so and 2 to 3, not 2 to not 3, this is across the rotor, this is the expansion. Okay, so this is the way it is happening. And if I take relative velocities, okay, so P at T3, if I add because V3 will be large, V3 square by 2Cp if I add, so this will be not 3, okay, maybe somewhere it comes to not 3 relative. I will write not 3 relative. T3 plus V3 square by 2Cp. And across rotor, T naught 2 relative is equal to T naught 3 relative. Okay, so if I draw a horizontal line here, so and this will become naught 2 relative, and this distance will be V2 square by 2Cp. Okay, so P naught 2 relative, P naught 3 relative, and similarly P naught 1, P naught 2. This is the total pressure loss. This is total pressure loss across nozzle, and this is total pressure loss across the rotor. P02 relative minus P03 relative. So here, these loss coefficients, we define two types of loss coefficients in terms of temperatures. We name it as lambda. In terms of pressures, we name it as y. Total pressure loss coefficient, like that we have defined, right? Like that y. And so across nozzle, I will have lambda n, yn. Across rotor, I will have lambda r and yr. Okay, so if I take lambda n, so across nozzle, so this is the one. Okay, so the losses are T2 minus T2 dash. Okay, due to friction. And by T02 minus T2 is the actual inlet energy. So C2 square by 2Cp. So this is nothing but T02 minus T2. This is lambda n. If I take yn, so what is the total pressure loss? P01 minus P02 by the thing available is P02 minus P2. I think. So this is like this, right? T2 minus T2 dash by C2 square by 2Cp, and P01 minus P02 by P0, P01 minus P02 by P02 minus P2. This is across the rotor, and across the nozzle, and across the rotor, lambda r is equal to, it is actually rotor, it is this is the rotor one. I write it as some 3 double dash here. So across the rotor, the loss is T3 minus T3 double dash by, so instead of C2 square, here we write V3 square by 2Cp.
Sir,
Yes.
what is double dash?
Yeah, some name, okay. So because it is coming like this and it has to come like this, instead of write, because already 3 dash I have written, I am writing 3 double dash. So rotor, across rotor, this is ideal, this is real. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. So similarly, YR. And again, the loss is P02 relative minus P03 relative by P03 minus P3. I think P03 relative minus P3. Yeah, P03 relative minus P3. Okay, so these are the loss coefficients in terms of temperature and pressure. That is across rotor. This is across nozzle. Okay. So next, what we are going to do is we are going to define derive the efficiency. So efficiency is equal to, and T01 minus T03 is the actual one, and T01 minus T03. Okay, so this is not. Okay, so that is the way we define the total to total efficiency. Okay, T01 minus T03 by T01 minus T03 dash. So divide the numerator and denominator by T01 minus T03. So I'm going to get 1 by 1 plus T03 minus T03 dash by T01 minus T03. So here, what it is done is, so this, what I will do is T01 minus T03 by, this I will write it as T01 minus T03 plus T03 minus T03 dash. I am adding and subtracting T03. So this will become numerator and denominator you divide and by T naught 1 minus T. So T naught 1 minus T naught 3 by T naught 1 minus T naught 3 is 1 by, again dividing these 2 by T naught 1 minus T naught 3, it will become 1 plus T naught 3 minus T naught 3 dash by T naught 1 minus T naught. Okay, this is the way we will write. And so here T naught 3 minus T naught 3 dash, okay, I am going to take this particular term. This term is nothing but work only, for W by Cp. Okay, this is W by Cp, and this one I will do some manipulation. T naught 3 minus T naught 3 dash is equal to, I will write this as T3 minus T3 dash approximately. Okay, and this T3 minus T3 dash is equal to, I will write it T3 minus T3 dash is sum of these small pieces, this one and this one. T3 minus T3 double dash minus T3 double dash minus T3 dash. Like this, these two pieces. Again, I have to manipulate some mathematical manipulation for these two. Okay, so this is written like T naught 3 minus T naught 3 dash is written as T3 minus T3 dash, and again as sum of T3 minus T3 double dash plus T3 double dash minus T3 dash. And then what we do is, so if I take this line and this line, these two are under the same pressure lines, constant pressure lines. Because pressure ratio is same, temperature ratio will be same, minus, that is T2 dash by T3 dash is equal to T2 by T3 double dash. T2 dash by T3 dash like this. And this can be written by cross changing. I can write this as T3 double dash by T3 dash is equal to T2 by T2 dash. Okay, and subtract 1 from both sides. I'm going to get T3 double dash minus T3 dash by T3 dash is equal to T2 minus T. Why I am writing all these things is, I want to express the efficiency in terms of the loss coefficients and the angles. Okay, like this. And so this is what I am interested in. T3 double dash minus T3 dash is equal to T2 minus T2 dash into T3 dash by T2 dash. Okay, like this. And this, again, I make some small approximation. I will write this as T2 minus T2 dash into T3 by T2. Okay, so this is the way I write. Now going back to the efficiency, we got this as 1 by 1 plus uh, okay, T naught 3 minus T naught 3 dash and this we have written T naught 3 minus T naught 3 dash as T3 minus T3 dash minus T3 minus T3 double dash minus T3 double dash minus T3. like this we have written. And now, sorry. So this T3 double dash minus 3 T3 dash, I have to substitute this one. So T3 minus T3 double dash is equal to T2 minus T2 dash into T3 by T2. Okay, this I have to substitute. And so here, if you see the figure, previous formula, so now this T3 minus T3 double dash is equal to lambda r into V3 square by 2Cp. Similarly, T2 minus T2 dash is lambda n into C2 square by 2Cp. So those things I have to substitute. So now I will take this here. Okay, so 1 plus T3 minus T3 double dash into this. Okay, so this one is there. And this T3 minus T3 double dash is lambda r into V3 square by 2Cp. And T2 minus T2 dash is lambda n into C2 square by 2Cp. And I will get this particular formula. And once I get this, V3 we know C A secant beta 3 and C2 C A secant alpha 2 if I substitute there. And this T01 minus T03 is W by Cp. So that if I substitute here, this particular one. So I'm going to get stage efficiency, this particular formula. Okay. So you just practice it and derive this stage efficiency. Okay. If there is any difficulty, we will discuss in the next class. Is it okay till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, a little bit of mathematical manipulation. You see the figure and you see step by step you write it. If you derive it, you will get it. Okay, any difficulty with this? Only assumption that we have made here is this T3 dash by T2 dash we have written as T3 by T2. That is one approximation we will do here. So here if I take T3 dash this side, T3 dash by T2 dash will come, but that is approximated. Here approximate T written T3 by T2. That is the only one approximation we have done. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So once you understand, then we will go for the story today. And it is a beautiful story. Actually, if it is a offline class, we would have discussed. Okay, one thing I will ask you, okay, just like that. Can a person become rich without cheating or exploiting the other people?
Sir, rich in sense of money, sir.
Rich money only. Okay, it's purely material things. Okay, money only. Can you become a very rich person without exploiting or deceiving or cheating other people?
Yes, sir. It could be possible.
Okay, how can it be possible?
So, he can do business and by uh, in fair and
Okay, if you want to become rich, you have to make profits, right?
yes, sir.
So the amount of profits, the more you try to make means you are trying to exploit the weakness or needs of the other people, right?
It cannot be such type of exploitation, sir. It can be somewhat a strategical thing.
Yeah, but usually that is the general understanding, right? A person becomes rich means naturally is exploiting the weakness of other people like that. Okay, so here there is a beautiful story. Okay, whatever you are telling is right. So how we defend it? Okay, here there is a school boy. He is a rich guy. Maybe he is daily coming in a luxurious car to the class, and he comes luxurious dresses are there like that. And naturally, the other people will be jealous of him, and they used to comment that these people are cheaters, exploiters. That's why they become rich. Like that, they used to avoid him like that. And this fellow also got guilt feeling about that. Okay, maybe my parents or grandparents they are exploiting the weakness of poor people, and they might have become rich. So he is disturbed the by current fashion of speaking disparagingly of the profit system which has formed the basis of the American way of life, wrote to his grandfather asking him to explain just how there can be a profit which is not taken from the work of someone else. Okay, the grandfather was Fred I. Kent, LLD, president of the Council of New York University and a former director of the Federal Reserve Board. And Dr. Kent replied to his grandson's query as follows. Okay, he has written a letter, a detailed letter, so that the grandson should not be in the guilt feeling that I don't deserve or I am uh, okay, we have cheated or our grandparents done like that. So he should not have that feeling. So because of that, he has written a story, beautiful story. So my dear grandson, I will answer your question as simply as I can. Profit is a result of enterprise which builds for others as well as for the enterpriser. Let us consider the operation of this fact in a primitive community, say of 100 persons who are non-intelligent beyond the point of obtaining the mere necessities of living by working hard all day long. Okay, so there is a tribe of some 100 people, and for their necessities, they have to work hard throughout the day. Okay, and our primitive community dwelling at the foot of a mountain must have water, and there is no water except at a spring near the top of the mountain. Therefore, every day, all the 100 persons climb to the top of the mountain. It takes them 1 hour to go up and come back. And they do this day in and day out until at last one of them notices that the water from the spring runs down inside the mountain in the same direction that he goes when he comes down. Okay, whatever way he is coming down, the water also comes down like that. So he conceives the idea of digging a trough in the mountainside all the way down to the place where he has his habitation. And he goes to work to build a trough. The other 99 people are not even curious as to what he is doing. Okay, so the people make fun of him and they mock at him and they say why he is wasting time, he is doing unnecessary things like that. Then one day, this 100th man turns a small part of the water from the spring into his trough and it runs down the mountain into a basin he has fashioned at his bottom. Okay, near to his place, he has made like a basin. He collected the water. Whereupon he says to the 99 others, who each spend an hour a day in fetching their water, that if they will each give him the daily production of 10 minutes of their time, he will give them water from the basin. Okay, you are spending 60 minutes for that, and I will give the water free if you give me 10 minutes. Okay, 50 minutes you can save by that. Okay, so that is the enterprise. He will then receive 990 minutes. Now he get 10 minutes of work from each person. So he got 990 minutes of the time of other men each day, which will make it unnecessary for him to work 16 hours a day in order to provide for his necessities. He is working 16 hours a day till now. Now he need not work all the time. So because those people work for him and he is making tremendous profit. But his enterprise has given each of the 99 other people also 50 additional minutes each day for himself. So if they want to utilize those 50 minutes, they can utilize for some other productive purpose. And the enterpriser now having 16 hours a day at his disposal and being naturally curious, spends a part of his time watching the water running down the mountain. He sees that it pushes along the stones and pieces of wood. There is some energy in the flowing water, he understood. And he developed a water wheel. Then he notices that it has power. And finally, after many hours of contemplation, thinking, and work, makes the water wheel run a mill to grind his corn. So he can make a flour mill to run to grind his corn. And this 100th man then realizes that he has sufficient power to grind corn for the other 99 also because he is continuously getting power. So he says to them, I will allow you to grind your corn in my mill if you will give me 1/10 of the time you save. Okay, for grinding corn, they are spending a lot of time, and you can save that time and give me 1/10 of that time. And they agreed happily because it is like win win. Okay, they also gain time and he also gets work from them. So they agree, and so the enterpriser now makes an additional profit. He uses the time paid by the 99 others to build a better house for himself, to increase his conveniences of living through new benches, openings in his house for light, and better protection from the cold. Okay, now he has a luxurious building and stay. So it goes on. As this 100th man constantly finds ways to save the 99, the total expenditure of their time, and one tenth of which he asks of them in payment for his enterprising. So he saves lot of time for them and gets little time from them. And this 100th man's time finally becomes all his own to use as he sees fit. He does not have to work unless he chooses to. His food and shelter and clothing are provided by others. His mind, however, is ever working, and the other 99 also are constantly having more time to themselves because of his thinking and planning. Okay, now they also have comfortable life, some peaceful time. Okay, because of this person's thinking and planning. Okay, for instance, he notices that one of the 99 makes better shoes than others. So he arranges for this man to spend all his time making shoes because he has passion, he has the skill. He told, you make shoes only. Why you do work which you don't like? You do only this. And because he can feed and clothe him and arrange for his shelter from profits. Okay. So the other 98 do not now have to make their own shoes. Okay, so they also are spending time in shoes, but they are not good also. But if they can buy from him, right? So they can save time, they can have better shoes, and this fellow works only for him with his skill, and they are charged again one tenth of the time they save. So the 99th man is also able to work shorter hours because some of the time that is paid by each of the 98 is allowed to him by the 100th man. So the 100th man told, okay, they are giving me some time. Out of that, I will give you some time. Okay, so in that way, he also gains some profit. So as the days pass, another individual is seen by the 100th man to be making better clothes than any of the others. And it is arranged that this time shall be given entirely to his specialty and so on. In that way, he found the skill of each person and he arranged them to work in their passion and skill so that it saves the time of all people and they gain from those times. And due to the foresight of the 100th man, a division of labor is created that results in more and more of those in the community doing the things for which they are best fitted. And everyone has a greater amount of time at this disposal, and each becomes interested, except the dullest, in what others are doing and wonders how he can better his own position. And the final result is that each person begins to find his proper place in an intelligent community. Okay. But suppose that when the 100th man had completed his trough down the mountain and said to the other 99, if you will give me what it takes you 10 minutes to produce, I will let you know, get the water from my basin. If they had turned on him and said, we are 99 and you are only one, and we will take whatever we want. You cannot prevent us when we will give you, and we will give you nothing. If they say like that, what would happen then? The incentive of the most curious mind to build upon his enterprising thoughts would have been taken away. So he will stop thinking about it because it is of no use. He would have seen that he could gain nothing by solving problems if he still had to use every waking hour to provide his living, and there could have been no advancement in the community. The same stupidity that first existed would have remained. Life would have continued to be a drudge to everyone, with the opportunity to do no more than work all day long just for a bare living. Just for living, all people have to work just like that. But we will say the 99 did not prevent the 100th man from going on with his thinking, and the community prospered. And we will suppose that there were soon 100 families. As the children grew up, it was realized that they should be taught the ways of life. There was now sufficient production so that it was possible to take others away from the work for providing for themselves, pay them, and set them to teaching the young. Similarly, as intelligence grew, the beauties of nature became apparent. Men tried to fix scenery and animals in drawings, and art was born. From the sounds he heard in nature's studio and in the voices of the people, music developed. Okay, now the different passions they develop, the art develops, music develops, and it became possible for those who are proficient in drawing and music to spend all their time in their art, giving their creations to others in return for a portion of the community's production. Okay, they all exchange. I give this work, you give your work. As these developments continued, each member of the community, while giving something from his own accomplishments, became more and more dependent upon the effort of others. And unless envy and jealousy and unfair laws intervened to restrict honest enterprises who benefited all, progress promised to be constant. Need we say more to prove that there can be profit from enterprise without taking anything from others? That such enterprise adds to the ease of living for everyone. These principles are as active in a great nation such as the United States as in our imaginary community. Laws that kill incentive and cripple the honest enterpriser hold back progress. True profit is not something to be feared because it works to the benefit of all. We must endeavor to build instead of tearing down what others have built. We must be fair to the other men, or the world cannot be fair to us. Thank you. Okay, I like this story very much. And so there is a beautiful novel. If somebody is interested in writing, reading novels, okay, there is one novel called
Fountainhead, sir.
Fountainhead. Yeah, by
I couldn't remember the others.
Ayn Rand. Have you read it?
Sir, I read half of it.
Okay, now
This
again you read it.
is
It will
getting
be
later.
beautiful one. Actually, this is the first novel I started reading and I could not stop. I applied leave for 2 days and completed the novel. It's such a beautiful story, actually. It something like talks about the story here. Okay, in a beautiful way, it is presented. And Ayn Rand is the first and only lady philosopher present in history. Okay, you can see everywhere there will be ladies in every profession, but in philosophy, you rarely see a lady philosopher. But she is a philosopher and she has written a lot of books. And mainly this book is very, very famous. And one more book also she has written like Atlas Shrugged. Okay, these are okay. Her philosophy she has put in a story way. Okay, she has written a lot of other books on philosophy, but these are like novels. And her idea she has put through characters and a story like that. Okay, see you then. Okay, we'll maybe tomorrow I may not be taking class, so we'll meet if possible directly and offline, or we will see if you continue online in the next week. Okay, if possible, try all of you to come by Wednesday, right? So that we, I'm desperately waiting to see all of you and meet all of you and have offline classes. I don't know how much you are waiting for it.
We are eager to reach campus, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
We are also waiting, sir.
yeah. So come, right? So we'll meet.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay, see you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir.